All aboard for Rhythms Level 4. That's right, today we're on Rhythm Railways Level 4 of 4001, if you're reading along. Today we're going to be doing some dotted note rhythms on the Level 4 Rhythm Railroad, and today we're going to have a great time learning those rhythms. Let me tell you a little bit about dotted notes on the Rhythm Railroad. Well, my friends, whenever a note has a dot after it, like this example of a whole note, half note, or quarter note, or an eighth note, that dot that comes after the note adds half of the note value to itself. For example, a whole note is worth 4 full counts. And that means that if there's a dotted whole note, that is worth 6 counts because half of 4 is 2, and 2 plus 4 is 6. So whenever you see a dotted whole note, it's a sound that's going to last for 6 full counts. Thankfully, we're not doing any of those on the Rhythm Railroad today because those last a long time. Yeah, but we are going to be doing some dotted half notes, and that means that those dotted half notes are going to last for 3 full counts. Now, you already know from Rhythm Railroad Level 2 that a half note lasts for 2 counts. Yes, but half of 2 is 1, and 1 plus 2 is 3. So, a dotted half note is going to last for 3 full counts. Dotted half notes will be counted something like this. Or, That's right, and you can tell I'm keeping a steady beat with my toe while I clap the rhythm and say the rhythm. A dotted quarter note is going to be worth 1.5 beats because a quarter note is worth 1 full beat and half of 1 is half. So 1 plus half is 1.5. Yeah, and we're going to be doing some dotted eighth note rhythms, and each dotted eighth note is going to be worth 3/4 of a beat. That's right. I know this is a lot to comprehend. There's a lot of math right now coming at you, my friends. So please just do your best to follow along. Bear with me as we take this trip on the Rhythm Railways. I know you'll understand this eventually someday. Do your best to follow along and understand as best you can. It's okay if you don't totally understand the math behind this, but just do your best to copy me and follow along. Let's try out these way awesome rhythms. Here we go, my friends. This rhythm is a dotted half note followed by 2 eighth notes, and it goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Try that with me. 1, 2. Here we go. Nice work. Let's try the next rhythm. The next rhythm looks like this. It's 2 eighth notes and a dotted half note. This rhythm goes. Try that with me. 1, 2. Here we go. That's right. Notice that today and always on the Rhythm Railways, I play the example for you, and then I ask you to copy it with me. So please listen first, then copy with me. This rhythm sounds like this. It has a dotted quarter note, an eighth note, and a half note. Now you might be wondering to yourself, Mr. Scruggs, what is that eighth note doing down there? Do you see that eighth note? It's right over, well, it's outside my screen, but it's right over there. And it's the note that has 1 flag on it. That's 1/8 note. And you might be asking yourself, Mr. Scruggs, you might be saying to yourself, Mr. Scruggs, I thought you said eighth notes come in pairs. They're always joined at the hip, and you'll never see one without the other. Well, I'll tell you what, there is another eighth note in this equation, my friends. But these 2 eighth notes got disjoined at the hip, and the other eighth note joined up with the quarter note to make a dotted quarter note. So there's still 2 eighth notes here. One is joined up with the quarter note to make a dotted quarter note, and the other eighth note's by himself. This rhythm sounds like this. Please listen, then play it along with me. This rhythm goes 1, 2, E. Try that with me. 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, E. The next rhythm looks like this. This rhythm has a dotted quarter note, an eighth note, and 2 quarter notes. This rhythm goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Try that with me. 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice I'm still pulsing every note. Every beat gets pulsed twice, and that's because we're pulsing the eighth notes. This rhythm goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Try it with me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next rhythm looks like this. This rhythm goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Try it with me. 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. There's some of those eighth notes that are joined to the hip too. See that? This next rhythm has a dotted quarter and 5 eighth notes. It sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. Try that with me. 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. This next rhythm looks like this. It has a lot of quarter notes with 1 eighth note at the end. This rhythm goes 1, 2, 3, 10. Let's try that together. 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 10. Nice work. Here's our next rhythm. This rhythm has 4 eighth notes, a dotted quarter, and an eighth note. It goes 1, 2, 3, 10. 1, 2. Try it with me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 10. This next rhythm looks like this. This next rhythm has 2 eighth notes, a quarter note, dotted quarter note, and an eighth note. 1, 2. Please listen to this. 1, 2, 3, 10. Try it with me. 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 10. Next rhythm looks like this. This rhythm goes 1, 2, 3, 10. Try it with me. Here we go. 1, 2. Ready, clap, and count. 1, 2, 3, 10. I know I just said clap and count, but you can play and count as well. Whichever you happen to be doing right now is great. Please make sure you're as accurate as possible. This rhythm goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Try it with me. 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that one again. 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent work. Let's try the next rhythm. The next rhythm looks like this. It's 2 eighth notes, dotted quarter note, eighth note, and a quarter note. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Try it with me. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next rhythm looks like this. This rhythm has a quarter rest in it at the end. Do you see that? Remember, quarter rests are silent. Here we go. This rhythm sounds like this. Please listen. Then play along the next time around. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, shh. Try it with me. 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, shh. Next rhythm looks like this. This rhythm goes 1, 2, 3, shh. Try it with me. 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 2. Shh. I'm sorry, I messed that up. Let's try it again. 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, shh. One more time, everybody. 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, shh. Next rhythm looks like this. This rhythm goes 1, shh, 3, 10. Try it with me. 1, 2. Here we go. 1, shh, 3, 10. Our next rhythm looks like this. This rhythm goes shh, 2, 3, 4. Try it with me. 1, 2. Here we go. Shh, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't matter if you're playing along with your hand, clapping along with your hands, playing on a trumpet, a trombone, a saxophone, flute, whatever you happen to be playing on. That's great. This rhythm, my friends, is our first rhythm with a dotted eighth note. This rhythm goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Please listen to this rhythm. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Try it with me. 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. This rhythm. Here's our next rhythm. It looks like this. This rhythm goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Try it with me. 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. This rhythm goes 1, 2, 3. This rhythm goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Clap that with me, please. 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Let's try the next rhythm. This rhythm goes one ta ta, one ta two, ta three ta ta four. Say that with me, only saying it. One ta two, ta three ta four. Take a minute to pause the video and practice that if you need to. The rhythm goes one ta two, ta three ta four, like this. One ta two, ta three ta four. Here we go. Let's clap and say this rhythm, or play and say this rhythm together. It goes one. Here we go. One ta two, ta three ta four. Some of these rhythms are pretty tricky, and I know that you'll practice them and get them down perfectly accurate. This rhythm goes one ta two, ta three, ta four ta. One ta two, ta three, ta four ta. Try it with me. One, two. Here we go. One ta two, ta three, ta four ta. Here's our next rhythm, you guys. This is gonna be a lot of fun. This one's not so bad. This one goes one ta two, three ta four. Say it and play it with me. One, two. Here we go. One ta two, three ta four. One more time, please. One, two. Here we go. One ta two, three ta four. Excellent. Our next rhythm looks like this. One ta two, three ta four. Say it and play it. Here we go. One ta two, three ta four. Next rhythm looks like this. One ta two, ta three ta four. One, two. Please listen to this. One ta two, ta three ta four. Try it with me. One, two. Here we go. One ta two, ta three ta four. Here's our next rhythm. This rhythm goes one ta two, three ta four. It sounds like this. Please listen. And here I go. One ta two, three ta four. Try it with me. One, two. Here we go. One ta two, three ta. Here's our next rhythm. This one goes one ta two, three ta four. Listen to it first, then we'll play it together. One ta two. Sorry, let me start that again. One ta two, three ta four. One more time, please listen to this rhythm. One ta two, three ta four. Together, please. One, two. Here we go. One ta two, three ta four. Here's our next rhythm. This rhythm goes one ta three ta four. Try it with me. One, two. Here we go. One ta three ta four. Next rhythm looks like this. One ta two, ta three ta four ta. One, two. Listen now. One ta two, ta three ta. Try it with me. One, two. Here we go. One ta two, ta three ta. Our next rhythm looks like this. One ta two ta three. Sorry. Excuse me. This rhythm looks like this. One ta two ta three ta four ta. One, two. Listen now. One ta two ta three ta four ta. Try it with me. One, two. Here we go. One ta two ta three four ta. And that was our last rhythm, my friends. Woo woo! All aboard for level 4 Rhythm Railroad. Today, we have completed level 4 Rhythm Railways, and if you can complete this rhythm correctly and accurately by yourself for your teacher, you can earn your blue conductor's badge. That's right. And don't forget that whenever you're watching this video, you can go over into the corner where the settings are. I think that's over here and down. You can select, or maybe it's up here, somewhere up here, the little settings wheel. Select that, click on that, open it up, change the speed if you need to. You can slow it all the way down to 0.25, which will sound super duper silly and slow, or you can speed it all the way up to 2 times double speed, and it'll sound like probably like a chipmunk. It'll be super duper fast. But be sure to use those settings and practice slowly. Practicing and practicing slowly are the keys to success. Until the next time, all aboard for Rhythms. Woo woo!